Right, here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in.
Who?
Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. Hello. Hello. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hey? Good boy.
To go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, 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 tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, dum, ding, dong, dang. So it's all good. Right, here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Howdy folks, what's going on? Welcome on in on this Thursday stream. Very rare to have a Thursday stream. Mav, what's going on? Good to see you. We'll wait and see who else has arriving in there. We're going to continue working on this guy today. We've got that little wedge in there. We're going to trim that up, get that neck fitted, and that should be almost ready to send out to the builder after we've helped him plug in those little nail holes, sand that, smooth that out for him, added a couple of little doobie whackers there. There's a couple of chips on the back here. I might just fix one of those chips as well with a little bit of filler as well. I should do that for him, I think. We'll get that maple coloured filler out. We'll do that. What's going on, Terry? Good to see you. Thank you for the resub. 50 months, my God. My goodness gracious, that's a lot. Okay, welcome on in. This guy, we've got the wedge in there. We've got to trim this guy up, glue that in place, get that neck lined up the way it needs to be. We're going to plug in another little chip that's at the back here on the butt end of this guy with a little bit of maple filler, just to help cover a couple of little rusty holes. It is a very rustic looking little doobie whacker, so we don't have to worry too much about perfection here, but we don't want big ugly chips that can get worse. I'm just going to grab a little bit of putty in here, just work that a little bit with my hand. Fill in a couple of little holes at the back here. Make it more rustic and less broken. There's an old ripped out nail from there. proud, and that's what we want. We'll sand that flush, and that'll look a lot neater when we're done with that. Now we're going to work on trimming this guy up here. Dana, what's going on? Good to see you. Well, you can still go to the shower and get ready for bed. You can always watch the show later. You don't have to be here live, although we do like it when you're here live. We do like it when you're here live, absolutely. Let me fix this camera up. It's a bit better. Okay, so we're going to trim this little guy up. We're going to grab our little fine saw, just cut this flush. The beauty of this fine blade is it does bend, so we can manipulate that and have it flush down to the surface that we need it to be. Like so. This end was the problem. That's where the hole, the gap was evident. So it's a lot thicker there. It wedges down and it goes down into there. So that's closed up a little bit. What we're going to do is shape that now and get that neck in place. And to do that, we're going to use a little chisel, a nice sharp chisel, and just shape that very, very nicely. Let's put that saw away. This guy looks nice and sharp. It's going to clear out the corner. So, don't need that there. This neck in there. Okay, it's crooked, but that's expected. We need to shave this guy down at the back here. To get the right shape. And now we use a rasp and just finely flatten that out. So there's a straight edge without losing too much. Okay, that's going in now, but it's not lined up. Alright, that's nearly there. A bit more shaving. more flattening. A little bit more testing out and fitting. Okay, it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. That looks reasonably straight. I need to make sure that it's still needs to come in a little bit. Ever so slightly. Oh, that looks good. Oops. Okay, that looks nice and even. Let me just measure, get that straight edge on there. I need a clamp just to hold that in temporarily. Yeah, I'm not sure when he's going to finish it. That's going to be interesting, but of course, all in due course, I guess. Let's just measure this guy and see how we look. In terms of straightness, straight edgeness. Oops, that neck's going to fall out. That neck's going to fall out. Damn it. Okay, let's check the straight edge on that guy. Sitting nice and flat. Grab our big straight edge and we'll line that guy up. See how we're lined up. And we're miles out. Keep shaving down this end. To get that from skewing the wrong way. Ooh, now we're cooking. We seem to be right on. That's good. That's very good. Double check that. A little bit out, just a tiny bit. It's not right. Something's not right. Okay. Just going to shave a little bit more. Just finessing that now to get that neck tightly placed in the right order. This looks a lot better now. Okay, that's going to be fine, I think. Yeah. I think we're good. I think we're good. Maybe. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's knit that up and have another check. Oh, that's perfect. That's spot on, Mundi. Terry, you can relax. It's a good one. Now I've got to whack some screws in there and double check it again with the screws. Where are them screws? I need to take this neck off. Now that we know that's going to be fine, lined up, let's get those screws and those plates back on and fit that for the last time. Then we can get on to Aurora, Purple Heart Aurora. Leslie in the house, what's going on? Ad break coming up. What's happening, Leslie? Are you well? Are you good? Let's get this guy done now. Terry. Double check. Flat. There. Little twist. That is as straight as a gun barrel. Almost. Gone a little bit too far the other way. Now it's dead straight. Very nice. We're good. Okay. Put the other two in. Terry's happy. Terry, are you relieved? Lisa, in the house, what's going on? done. Let's double check that. Very nice. Straight as an arrow. And there you have it. Take that off. He's leaving you. Well, I don't know what to say there. Is that a good thing? Tell him he can't leave, or if he leaves, to forget to pick up his wallet and to leave that in the back of the couch where it is. There we have it. Ta-da-ta-da. We've done our bit for this guy here. We've helped it as much as we can. That guy is ready to go to its owner, who's going to complete manufacturing or working on this. Now, we have patched up a couple of big chips there for him. We'll sand those off later and I will get that back to him. But that's that little guy done and dusted. So we're ready to install pickups in there. Under there, little pickup ring. We've got the pickup here. We've got the cavity here. We've got our jack in there like so. So he's good to go. Just for the weekend. Oh, he's leaving it just for the weekend. Huh. It's so slim. It is slim. He's just found a couple of little pieces of wood. It's about half an inch slimmer than it should be. But it just makes the grade. Sometimes these slimmer models are a lot lighter and very, very playable. So anyway, that's his little tuner. I've given him a little plate and I've given him a little bit of an output jack and some wires in there. Cut the little ferrule holes in the back. We've filled out some of those holes. Let's get on to Aurora Purple, the purple Aurora model. We'll get into routing some and doing some work on that guy. Marky Mark in the house. What's happening, Mr. B. Bumstead? Welcome on in. Mark, before you say another word, we must tell you that Van Walen is leaving Lisa. That's the news apparently for today. I'll let her explain. Did I mention it was only for the weekend? Is he hunting? What is he doing, Lisa? Is he going hunting? Or is he just playing with a bunch of his mates? Playing heroes with a bunch of his mates, you know, like saving things like cats up trees or skyscrapers on fire or something like that. Ha! Mince work, Terry. Mince work, absolutely. Mince is one of my favourite meats. I know what you did there. He's visiting his dad. Okay, cool. That is a good thing. Visiting dad is always good. While you can still do it, it's important. It's important in my view. I'm glad he's doing that. The end of a nice day. Mark, that sounds brilliant. We've got sunshine after a couple of days of rain here. So what have we got here on the bench? Let's have a look, hey? We've got some fretboards. Now we picked yesterday. I'm really liking the rosewood. I know that this is a special piece, but I want to save this for something else. I think the rosewood's going to work with that purple heart top a lot better. I'm really going for that one there. So yeah. Hey, BTM's in the house too. How you doing, BTM? So we're going to put those aside now. We're going to get back to working on this body here. So BTM yesterday, BTM was a little confused. So I think it was BTM that was confused. Here you go, BTM. This is what we got up to. You can see it's starting to look like a chamber surrounded by a guitar. So that's the hollows there. We need to clean those edges out now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a straight edge across here. I'm going to route that clean. I'll freehand this bit and I'll get this nice and straight. And that way we're going to have a nice clean cavity to work with. Then we're going to work on the back of this guy and drill out where the chambers are going to go for the electrics, right? Where the chamber's going to go for the electrics. So we're going to do that in a second. Let's get the router ready. We'll put this guy on. We're going to leave it up on the bench here. You can probably see pretty well here. I can work across here. I've got a nice straight edge here. A dead straight edge. Well, reasonably straight. Straight enough. I'm going to clamp this guy down, and that's going to work for my router to get that edge nice and straight. Then I'm going to move it over this side and do the same, okay? What we are going to do, though, is we're going to move, actually, I'll get a wider piece of wood. What we're going to do is we're going to move, we're going to get the router and put our extended router base on it, this guy here, because it gives us a lot more stability on these surfaces, right? We're going to use our big plexiglass thing. I hate typing on my phone. It never works out well for me. Look, Terry, I'm the same, and there's a reason that command is there, and I don't blame you for creating that command. I'm the same. All right, let's get our router out. Let's set that guy up properly. I'm going to put my manprin on. I need my hankprin on because there's going to be dust and crap flying everywhere. So let's get some protective clothing on. Put on this guy. Hydrate. I don't have a bottle with me. I'm going to go get a bottle and I'll hydrate. Give me a sec. Alrighty then. Cheers, big ears, as they say. Cheers, big ears. Here's looking up your old address. Apron. We need an apron command. Leslie, there's no apron command. What's going on there? Okay, let's get our router out. Let's play router. Play routy rout games. Put our big straight edge away. Ba-boing. Ba-doing. I don't know why I did that noise then because it's clearly not springing to life. Let's pull this guy out. And we're going to take the plate off this guy and install that plate onto here as the new backing. So I'll grab our screwdriver. We'll take these mounting screws off, like so. You may have noticed we're doing all the cavity work before we actually cut the shape out because there's extra real estate like that that we can use to leverage stability for routing, right? Now we're going to route the pockets and what have you after we put the cap on. But for this exercise, we're going to route while we still have a nice big square flat base to work with. Thank you for the cleanup of the spam there, Dana. Of course, Dana is watching like a hawk, and she doesn't muck around when she pulls the trigger. She puts that slug right between your eyes. Isn't that right, Dana? Absolutely. Doing. Seepley is in the house. Woof woof. I've just dropped an important screw. I've got to find it. Found Seeblies, what's going on? How many months now? My goodness, Seeblies is here from the start. Oh, 36 months. God, that's 3 years. Congratulations. Happy birthday, Seeblies. You are 3 years old. Awesome. Welcome on in, my friend. Come on in and say hello. Pick up a pew, as they say. Let's put this bass on. I'm stuffing around a little bit. I hope you guys don't mind. It's a very slow day. We've got a public holiday. Tomorrow is our Anzac Day, which is like a remembrance day for everyone that sacrificed things during conflicts around the world, from World War I right through to the most recent horrific doobie whacker. So Anzac Day is our sort of remembrance day. Weekend, if you like. I'll be at the farm with Buddy tomorrow. He'll be running around wild with Juji, his friend. I'll be strumming a guitar and lighting a fire and making some cooking some steaks and having a drink and relaxing. Absolutely. Oops. Should be good fun with the dogs. Terry, it is lovely. It's beautiful down there. You've seen photos, I think, of the fireplace that in the lounge out in the outdoor area where I sit and write and strum. That's where I like to frequent and hang out. I've got to make sure these screws are in deep enough because we don't want them scratching anything. I have got rebates or little countersunk holes for these guys. Oh, Anzac biscuits. Yes, absolutely, Leslie. They're like a ginger snap biscuit. Yeah, they used to serve them in the war because they last for weeks without going stale because they're rock hard, like the gingerbread snaps or the ginger snaps, the hard ones. But yeah, you can make them, and we often have them in, on that Remembrance Day. Anzac biscuits. We play two up at the local pubs in the morning. All the old diggers, the old veterans get together and play two up. It's an illegal form of gambling where they throw 2 coins, 2 pennies on a stick up, and they call heads or tails. And I think you've got to get both heads or tails on both to win. You can't have it split. I think, I don't know. I've never actually played it myself. I'm not one for playing those sorts of gambling games. But yeah, I mean, I get it. It's traditional, so they do it. The law goes lax for 6 hours. I think from dawn till that afternoon, maybe 12 hours, and they let the diggers rekindle and relive those times. And everyone gets involved. It's a lot of fun. Okay, we can pop this guy back in now. Before I do that, I'm just scratching it. There's a couple of screws that are just a bit high. It doesn't matter if I scratch this surface because it's getting covered, but I just want to make sure. There we go. It's a bit better. Get them nice and deep into those countersunk areas. That's better. Okay. Let's get this router in there. Let's get the right bit on here. Yeah, I think I said gingerbread. I meant to say ginger, like a gingery sort of cookie. A ginger biscuit, if you like. Going to use this guy here. Going to whack this guy in here like so. Going to turn this guy like so and tighten that nut job. Yeah. Pop this guy on. get a straight edge on here. Let me find a straight edge. Oh, look, I found a neck. That's a pretty good straight edge. That neck's really straight, dead straight in fact. I'm going to clamp that guy down, and I'm probably move this over the bench here so I've got room to clamp on either side. Now, Terry, I know you've got a volume. Do you want me to keep the sound on so you can hear the tools? Do you want the noise of the tools? Is that what we're saying? Terry, do you want tool noises? Is that what we want? Tool noises? Yes, please. Okay. Bolston, what's going on? What is going on, Bolsey? Are you good? Let's bring this guy over. I don't want to scratch the back. Let me put this down. Always protecting things now. This guy on, across here. So, I'll be able to clamp that guy down. That straight edge there. I'll move this camera like so. Clamps! Terry, we need clamps. How many do we need? One on that end, clamps. All of them and then some. Now you're overdoing it, but that's okay. Grab our little tool and just check that. Wonderful. Got a nice height there. We're going to go down about 1/4 inch just to get things started, and then we'll be good to freehand the rest. So I'm going to do 2 straight edges down here, straight down here, 2 straight edges. I don't know if this is going to hold. I might have to go from the other side. Actually, while I've got it clamped, I'll do this side first. Yeah, I'll do this side first because that reaches. Okay. Yep, okay. Let's plug this guy in. Let's get our safety gear on. Terry, do we need safety gear? God, why do I even ask her that question? I know what the answer's going to be. And there goes Father's Day. Shit, almost fell. I'm going to kill myself here. I'm going to fall over myself. Let me do my shoelaces up before I trip. What does Terry say? Terry, what do you say? Do we need it or not? Safety first. Let's put a mask on. I'll get this going. What the fudge just happened then? Crap. Oh, here it is. Okay. Let's put our Darth Vader mask on. That's the new emote that you would have noticed. There we go. I need my glasses underneath it. That's the beauty of this mask, I can fit. I think it fits with my glasses on.
It does, and it doesn't interrupt or interfere with the video graph that I'm taking here. Look on your father. Are you clamp here? And I'm good to go. That's good. Adjust your volumes accordingly. I don't know this anymore. I've got a vacuum.
I'll quickly grab the vacuum and clean up that dust, just so we can see what we're doing. Oh, God. And then we'll be good to go. Very nice. Okay. Thomas probably kicked back with a cat on his lap. Ha! He likes the noises as well. Of course he does. Let's see how we go with that. I'll just quickly vacuum this. This will be loud, so adjust your volumes accordingly. Okay. We're going to narrow this side. This was slightly wider than I wanted it to be, so I'm going to take another 5mm. I can do that last, that's fine. What I need to do is clean this up. So I'm going to freehand this guy while I can. So all I need is the clamps again. They're down here. Let's clamp this guy up. Just hold this guy from falling. There we go. He ain't going anywhere. Terry, mask. Let's go again. Move this guy out of the way. Pope, what's going on? Yeah, cheap CNCs. That's not me. That's not making guitars. CNCs isn't making guitars. It is and it isn't. I mean, CNCs is a different art form altogether. I'm old school. I don't have the room for a CNC. I don't have the patience for a CNC. I don't have the inclination for a CNC. And I like to butcher things with my hands. So that's how we're doing it. Huh. Welcome on in. Good to see you, Pope. Yeah, it's a good craft. I taught myself in 2009. So 15, 16 years for me. Still learning.
Yeah, it depends what finish you use. We'll talk about that in a little while. Lynn, what's going on? Do you adjust the bit for this guy? Yeah, freehand. There's always one, isn't there? going to grab a pen. Just go over those lines a little bit because you're too light. So let me get a pen and darken those a little bit. Just so I can see what I'm doing. That side's going to be trimmed up some more. That's fine. I'll do this end. Okay. Hold on. Let's carry on. Now I can see the lines on the left there.
that's free-handed on that side. You can actually see the profile. I'll catch up with a chat in a minute. Catch up with the chat, have a bit of a break. Talking about cats, Dana's in the house. Talking to Maui Lynn, who's also in the house. Dana's talking about her cats. All good. Cat. Vets. See what they do to cats? Vets, they give them complexes. Yep. Now on finishes, yes, if you're using things like lacquers, nitrocellulose, it takes a month for it to cure. It just keeps curing forever and ever. Very dangerous to breathe while it's curing and flashing, what they call flashing off or burning off. There's a lot of vapors and chemicals that are evaporating as it cures. So I use polyurethane, water-based polyurethane, and I also use a Danish oil or a natural type oil rather than too many high-tech plastic finishes like nitro. I used to use nitro, but I've stopped using nitro. I find a satin finish is a lot nicer these days anyway. So that's just that. But yeah. Drama king or queen. My daughter's dog is like that, knows how to take control of the situation. Yep, good. Okay, so that's the freehand side. I've got to do the other side now. Before I finish the other side, I've got to just narrow it because it's a little bit wider. I want to center this block again. So let me measure this again. Okay, it's 48 to the center, and I've got to go out 48 from here. Okay, 48. Let me mark that out. It's about a quarter of an inch wider than I should have done it. So I'm going to narrow that down a little bit. Terry, I'm narrowing it down just for your benefit. So I'm going to draw a straight edge down there. Put that beam back on there, get that side lined, and then I'll do the freehand on this side. And then we're pretty much ready to freehand the rest because we're going to use the inside edge as the guide that we've already routed. So let me just draw this line, get this right. Where is that? Right there. So. Measure that. Perfect. 95, perfect. Okay, let's get that straight edge done again. Grab that neck, whatever I did with that. There we go, like that. Clamp that in. Just try here. Like that. Okay, we're going to take that off there, and then we're good to go. Mask up. Mask up.
quite torn. Okay. Are we good to go there? Yes, we're good to go. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Okay, we can continue now. Freehand this side. Let's freehand the rest. Yes, that's fine. Okay, let's go. deeper. And off we go again. And now we can use the bearing and follow the edge that we cut. Do the other side now, and we're good.
We've free-handed that. Let me just vacuum that up quickly. There's our body with our chambers complete. It is a bit loud and I apologise, but there's our free-handed chambers. You can see there's still marks there from the holes. You won't see those once we cover that up, but that's the outline of the chambers, right? There's about half an inch all the way around there that will form the body, the glue edge about that wide, about a finger's width. Where all the way around where we're going to glue the cap down. That takes out a lot of weight. You can see the depth there. Okay, it shows you how deep we are. And of course we've got the back as well, where we're going to now calculate where the buttons are going to go. The buttons, the tuners and the volumes and the, not the tuners, the volume button and the tone button and the switches. We've got this is a 2-control 3-way switch. On this guy, let me flick over to the bench. Woo! There we go. Let's fix that up, bring that down like that. A little bit of slippage there. We've got a couple of deep holes there. You won't see those once we cover that up. It's not a big deal. What we'll do is we'll now mark out where we're going to have the controls. And did I have... I'm pretty sure I had those marked out on one of my models. Let me go and grab that. I'll grab Aurora and just double check a couple of measurements. I'll be back in a sec. I'm pretty sure I made a template for that, Terry. I'm pretty sure I made a template, but I'm not sure. I have to look at it and see if I can find a template. There's Aurora. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I've got a template for these controls. I'll just take this guy out just to give me a bit more centering. So that's what Aurora looks like. This is going to have a purple heart cap to it. So what I want to do is I just want to take some measurements here, because I do remember making a template. Let's check out template bag box of tricks first, shall we? I'll have a quick look in here because I'm pretty sure I made a template for that. Terry, did I make a template for that? No, I didn't. I thought I did, but I didn't. I'm disappointed. We should make a template for it. Let me measure it now anyway and just get that roughed out. So basically we've got it across here. Grab some tape. The reason I'm lining up the center lines with the tape. Okay, I'm lining up the center lines with the tape. It's right on the edge of that. I'll just take it as the edge of that. From the middle. Actually, no, I will do it. I will make a template. Terry, can I have the Terry Reminder app to make a template for this? So that I don't have to worry about where I position these guys. Okay. So let's jot it down. On it, we're going to measure the center line. Okay, and that is from the bottom up. .5 centimeters or 105 millimeters. Then from there to there it's 4 centimeters, 14.5, and from there to there is another 4 centimeters, 18.5. Who would have thought that I spaced them evenly? And in we've got 65. 75, and 80. Okay, got it. Done. I'm going to make a template for that, Terry. Rage Guitars, what's going on? I need a template, Rage. I'm just zeroing these out so I can position the zero marker on the right spot. There we go. We're good. No harm done. No one was damaged or harmed in the production of that measurements check. Right. Oh. Let me put this away before it falls. Okie dokie. Now I need to mark out those very parameters down this side here where this ride is going to have the controls. So what we're going to do is measure this guy with the dimensions we just caught. So we have to go from the bottom. We've got to go up 10.5 or 105 millimeters if we want to count in the millimeter scale. Go up one. And that's the beauty of having the straight edge. You can measure squarely off that. 105. You draw across that line. Oops, I've gone up wrong. Let's do that from the bottom. 140. 40. Okay. Draw a line across there. And then it's 4.5 up from there. The second, or this three-way switch, which I throw in between the controls. Some people put the switch at the top. I like to have it in the middle. Why? Because for me, well, I mean, it's just psychological. I think everyone does it the other way around, but not me. 4 up from there. Sorry, 4. Oh, is it 4? I said 4.5. No, it's 4. Sorry, let me do that again. Yeah, it's 5 millimeters lower. Lucky I checked. Lucky I checked. Okay, and from here we go up another 4. And it's right under the bridge, but that's okay because we're on this side of the bridge. Okay, and now we're coming from the edge. From that edge, straight across there, and that's our first control hole. We're coming from the edge 75. There's our second hole, which will be our hole for our doobie whacker. Now why I do that is because I want to center that line. I'll drill those holes through and then I flip it over and center the line where the panel's going to go for the cavity, because that's all getting cut out. And the last one was 75, 80 millimeters or 3¼ inches right there. Okay, let's grab our little spike. Let's make that evident. That guy, that guy, and that guy. And now we want to drill through there. So I'm going to place a scrap piece of wood under there. And I'm just going to tap through there with the drill. A couple of small tiny holes so that I can start playing with positioning the panel on the back. Alrighty, let's get some drills. Where are they? Little guys. Ugh. Let's catch up with the chat. Let's have a little break and catch up with the chat. What are we doing? Tipsy's in here. Tipsy, what is going on? Good to see you guys. Welcome on in. Rage, thank you for coming in. Pope, thank you for the follow earlier on. Django also followed a little while ago, about an hour ago. And sorry I haven't gotten back to you. I was busy routing and making a mess. How you doing? Tipsy, you're good. Excellent. That's what I like to see. Let me scroll up and see who else is in here. Rage is here. Rage was here. Jam a piece of paper over the controls. Yeah, I could do that. I like to measure things, but that's okay. That's a fair way of doing it. What I've got to do is I've got to make a template, and that's what I'm going to do next, to make a template. So what I'll do is I'll grab a piece of paper and I'll mark it out now that when I drill those holes, and then we'll use that for the basis of a whole template. Drill these holes by hand, just through there as a guide. I'll just use a small little 1/8 of an inch drill bit, a little 3mm job. This shouldn't take long. It's going to pop straight out the back. Like so. And now I can flip that guy over and we know where our control cavity is going. Okay, we know where our control cavity is going, right across there. So let's flip that over. Right, so I've drilled those holes. You can see those 3 holes there lined up. Just going to place a center line between the 2 outer points of that arc. It's a very, very gradual arc. They're almost in a straight line. They're not quite in a straight line. It just matches the contour of that part of the guitar body, so it is actually parallel to the edge of the body, or close to anyway. I didn't want to move the switch too far across because then it's not deep enough and it sits on a funny angle, so it's got to sit there like that. Okay, we're going to now line up our template, which is this guy here, if I can find it. There we go. Just mark the center line on that guy. And we line that up like so. Measure the distance, make sure it's centered. And that gives us plenty of room for wiring, capacitors, everything else. That's perfect. That's centered. That is the outer edge. Looks massive, right? Why does it look so massive? Can you tell me why it looks so massive? Because there's actually a step in there, right? We're cutting a small step in there. We grab our little circle and I'll show you what I mean. Our little step circle, where is that guy? It's this guy here. Little 1/4 inch or 5 millimeter, close to 1/4 inch circle. Just in there. So we center that. We draw an arc like so. Okay. Do the same to this side, center that. Draw an arc like so. A little bit too far. I might go a little bit smaller. These just reach the outer edge. Join the tangents of those guys. So let's grab a tangent, 90 degrees. I'll get my proper ruler and get that perfectly, that tangent spot on. Turn that on. This is a digital protractor. Terry, you'd be pleased to see this. A digital protractor. So it measures the angle for us. There's 90 degrees. 90.0, 90.0. We do that. Line it up with that line, and in the center of that hole, there's the tangent. Right there. Edge to edge. Perfect. And we've got a nice 1/4 inch shelf for our little cap to sit on. That'll go around like so. That'll be wider because we want to put a screw in the middle of those two, or a magnet, depending on what we want to do. Same deal here. Let's find the center of that. 90 degrees. There's our tangent. There's our line. There's our tangent. Terry, do you like the protractor? Is it a good tool? There we go. And we know our cavity now, and we know what we're going to cut out. Now we're just going to grab our turn that off so it doesn't burn up the battery. We're going to grab our drill, our Forstner, and we're just going to work through that, and then we're going to route it clean. Yes, I like the protractor. Of course you do. So we're going to go completely through that middle section, and then we're going to route a little ledge about 1/8 of an inch deep to about 5 millimeters, 3 to 5 millimeters. I've got about 5 or 6 millimeters to play with, so it'll probably be about 3 or 4 millimeters, just over 1/8. So we're going to do that. Let's grab our drill and work that out. I think it's a 30 mil hole. Just double check that. That's the 25. That's a little bit small. So let's grab the 30. And when I get my little tiny spindle sander arriving, my little medium-sized spindle sander, I've got a little desktop one, a little bench top one. We're going to be able to cut and shape the edges of this guitar nicely. It's a fancy protractor. Leslie, it's a beauty. I like it. This is exactly the hole size that we need. Almost, but it's good enough. So we're going to just drill those holes through. Use the hole that we drilled for the Forstner. Take the clutch off. Nice and gentle. Almost through. I'm going to work it through from the other side so we don't splinter and break things. Vacuum this up. Hide your ears if you don't like loud vacuum sounds, or turn your volume down. On the count of 3, 2, 1. Paper thin, we're almost through. Doesn't matter that that's split, we're going to get rid of that anyway. I'm going to grab the jigsaw and just cut that out. I just dropped half a dozen things. That's okay. Just going to roughly cut this out. straight edge there and a router to route that nice and cleanly. I'm going to put two dark lines just here. What did I do with that blue pen or black pen? Here it is. I'm just going to mark the tangent. So, grab the router and we'll straight edge this guy. I need to do a straight edge straight down here. So I'm going to put this guy up here and clamp it. Move the camera for you guys again. Karen Day, what is going on? Hey, Karen Day, good to see you. Hello, girl. Hope you're well. Let's clamp this down and let's run this edge. Right there. Terry, we need clamps. More clamps. That's dead straight. And we're good to go. Okay, router. Let's get a mask on. Put our Darth Vader mask on. Clamp it up! Clamp it up, girl.
Got my Darth Vader mask on? Luke, I am your father. Luke, I am your father. Get ready for the noise.
that stupid mask off. Mr. Clampy, Mr. Crampy, Mr. Crappy. Okay, so we move this over. Down here again. And we've got our roughly cut cavity, so we've got that as a guide, and just stopped short of the tangents. I will cut that, I'll file that and cut that with a hand saw just to get that edge right without over cutting it. I could actually just use the router and overcut it slightly, but I want nice round circles, so that's done there. As the front, we've got the chambers in. So there's our chambers. Okay, and there's the hole in the middle there. Looks rough at the moment. We've got to actually do the edges of that, but you can see how that fits in there. So everything will come in from the back. We'll cover that guy up, and of course they'll pop out and be mounted to the top. So the access to the wiring is through the back there. It's a black hole, not quite, but it could be. Hang on. Let me just. Now it's a black hole. So there, that's that. And that is going to be a purple-hearted top aurora. Don't fall in. You'll never get out. And that's the truth. All right, guys and girls, that's it for me for today. I'm done. I'm going to wind down, and I've got our Anzac Day tomorrow, which is like Veterans Day, and I'm going away with Buddy. I'm taking him away, and we're going to have fun. I'm going to see who I can raid. Is there anyone to raid? Are you Karen Day? Are you streaming? Karen Day, are you streaming? You're not streaming. You're not streaming. I will try, Terry. I want you to enjoy yours as well. Who have we got? Mandy Prada, Frank Lee, Ria Santos. I like Frank. I haven't seen Frank for a while. I'm going to go to Frank Lee playing. He's a good muso. He's a very good guitarist and a very good singer. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. Okay, bye. I'll raid Frank Lee. Hopefully that works. That is working. All right, guys and girls. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next week. This is Manny chiming out and tuning out for now. Same bat channel, same bat station, same bat time. I'll catch you next week. All right. See you later. Bye for now.